Good morning, everybody. What is going on? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to a brand new, fresh streaming week here on Twitch. I hope I find you all well, and I hope that it's time for some fun. It's going to be a good week, I get the feeling. It's going to be a good mix of stuff this week for sure. If you take a look at the schedule, good variety of stuff coming up. And, of course, I'm excited for that. Coming off my day off here yesterday, I got a couple things to talk about there. Gaming news, not too much to cover today. I don't think there was too many major updates, although there were a few little minor things here or there. If anyone wants to talk about them, I didn't really write anything down or get anything ready for today because nothing really stood out to me as a giant update or anything like that. But good stuff coming up. I hope everyone had a good day yesterday away from my streams. If you did not, I strongly recommend you check out my year-end series, which I did actually finally put out over the course of this last streaming week. We had the most difficult, wrong. We had the most I almost said it again. Let's try this one more time. Why, when I think the word D, why does it associate with difficult? That's not what I'm trying to say here. The most disappointing games of 2020 countdown. All right. And then we had on Monday night, fresh for you, last thing I actually put out was the best games of 2020 countdown, which I talked about 16 different games. Yes. And it's funny because I did this countdown thinking, man, 16 is a lot for a year-end countdown, but hey. And then immediately when the stream went offline, people were like, you missed this one, you missed that one. I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right. I could have mentioned those, but I thought 16 was more than enough. It took over an hour and a half to get through just the 16, you know? But that's how it works. All right? That's how it works. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the countdowns. I've already gotten great feedback about them. People saying that they love my countdowns because they allow people to check out games that maybe they'd never heard of or never been exposed to. And a lot of the times I play those games and maybe they just skip the playthroughs because I didn't know much about them. But then if it ends up obviously in, my Game of the Year awards, then obviously they want to maybe check them out after the fact. And a lot of people who don't, again, watch my full playthroughs appreciate in the disappointing games countdowns when I actually mention the pros and cons of certain games. There may be great games out there that have things that are disappointing about them, but people tend not to mention those because they focus only on the hype and the overwhelming positivity for a game that maybe everyone kisses its ass all year. No one actually wants to mention that the game has flaws, right? So I like doing the year-end countdowns, and I apologize. It took so long to get those out this year. As you know, there was an unprecedented amount of games that came out at the end of 2020 that were actually Game of the Year contenders. They all came out within the last month and a half of the year, and it made it very difficult for me to do those countdowns fairly until I had actually had a chance to play through many of those games. And it took a while because I'm a full-time streamer, but I'm a variety streamer. I don't just play the same game over and over every day. So it took quite some time to get through many of those games. Okay? Anyway, the good news is the year-end series are done. Now we can move on to new, exciting, and fun content. Right? We can stop dwelling about the past and we can look forward to the future. All right? So this week, in particular, is going to be pretty interesting with the variety of stuff that I'm putting out. So please listen in if you can, and let's talk a little bit about what's coming up this week before we talk about other stuff, okay? So today is Wednesday, the 3rd of February, 2021. Today we're checking out Destruction All-Stars, a game that originally was supposed to be a launch title for PlayStation 5. Now, admittedly, when they announced this game along with all the other PS5 launch titles, yeah, it kind of was under question. Let's put it that way. It looks to me, now I haven't played the game yet, okay? It looks to me like it is a game that's a combination of Twisted Metal, Rocket League, and an action-based third-person shooter. All right, I couldn't even name one because there hasn't been one in a long time, so none really comes to mind. But that's what it kind of looks like. It looks like they took 3 genres, okay, and they slammed them together to be one game. Now, this was supposed to be a full 70 game release. $70. Think about that. Holy shit. $70. But instead, I think they determined either it wasn't going to be ready at launch for the PlayStation 5, or perhaps they finally had a revelation that it basically was not worth $70. And if they sold it for that price tag, likely people were going to be incredibly upset that they spent that much money. Now, let's be honest here. Every single console launch, there's usually one or two games that are pretty subpar that people pay $70 for, or excuse me, I should just say pay full price for, because before this console launch, it was not $70. It was either $60 or $50. But usually people pay full price for it just to find out this game does not hold water. There's no way it's worth that much money. But people tend to buy up all the release titles for a new console, especially if they want to see a variety of kind of games on a next gen, see how they perform, etc. So likely if this actually were sold as a launch title for PS5, it would have sold a lot, and people would have been pretty upset because of the kind of game that it is. That it was $70, okay? So wisely, they decided to delay the title until yesterday, which is, what, 2 months delay? A little over, less than 2 months delay, actually. Now, who knows if it actually needed polish, but they claimed it did. And now they've released it as a free for PS Plus title, meaning if you're a PS Plus subscriber, which most people who have a PS5 are because you want to play the games online, you get the game for free, okay? That's a good move in my opinion, because admittedly, this was going to be one of the games I was going to completely skip and not play at all. I wasn't going to drop $70 on this title. Certainly of all the launch titles of PlayStation 5, there were two that stuck out in my mind that just were not of $70 value. One being this, and the other being Sackboy's Big Adventure, which is basically just a Little Big Planet-esque platformer, which previously they sold as both that and a content creation suite and online community where you can play people's created content, but this time they cut out all the content creation. So you're selling me the game that you sold me 3 times before, only now you're selling it with less content, but you're still charging me full price. That's why I didn't think that one was worth full price. This one, of course, let's be honest here, $70 for an arena combat game in 2020, now 2021, yeah, that's going to be a really hard sell, okay? So the good news is, it's free for PS Plus, and I picked it up. We're going to play it today. Now, if we play it and I like it and it seems fun and interesting, and maybe we haven't even really scratched the surface by the end of today's stream, then maybe I'd consider doing it again. Now, would it be a main gameplay stream? Unlikely. I'd more than likely check it out only as a nighttime stream moving forward. So we'll see. All right, we'll see what happens. If it ends up being terrible, you know what I mean? Like, it was just not good, uninspired and boring or whatever, we don't have to play it ever again. And there's literally no pressure because it was a free game. And that's the cool thing about this. Unlike typical launch titles for a console where you drop money for them and then you never play them again. I think back to the PS4. Remember PS4? I bought like 5-6 games, and out of all those, I only played like 2 of them ever again. Like, I remember there was a Need for Speed game, and wasn't it Killzone Shadowfall? I played it like 2-3 times. I hated it. There was like three titles that were full price games on PS4's launch that were just, they were shitty. And I never touched them ever again. So, we'll see what happens, all right? Some people are already screaming and saying that they don't want to see me even play this now. Well, listen, it's free. And there's people out there who want to know if it's any good. There's people out there who don't have a PS5. They don't have opportunity to test it out. They're wondering what they're missing. And I'm going to tell you today when I play this, okay? So we'll see what happens. Let's test it out today and go from there, shall we? All right, later tonight, my late night stream on 6:45 p.m. Pacific time will be Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Having a lot of fun with this recently because instead of switching between 2 weapons now, I've actually focused in just on the Krieg 6 and unlocking the best attachments for it. I think I actually have, but now I'm basically fine-tuning things like new targeting reticles and stuff like that. I just got the thermal scope, which seems to be incredibly good. Like, I feel like it's dramatically improving my ability to hone in on an enemy and shoot them right away because they stand out now. And that's great. Plus, I am using the knife, which really, I've not used the knife like this in many, many games, many, many Call of Duties. I used to knife people a lot, back in Modern Warfare 1 and 2 when it wasn't a thing you had to equip, you know? So this has been neat. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I want to play more tonight for sure. Excited for that. 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. I hope you guys will join me for a couple hours of Call of Duty action. Tomorrow, we return back to Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now listen, I'm in agreement with all of you. This game is far too long. It just is. Even though you may say, oh, but it's still meaningful story content. Dude, I'm 70 hours in. This game has dragged on for so long that I just want to see it end. But the thing is, you gotta keep playing. It just never ends. It seriously never ends. And it's not just me. It's many people on the internet who are talking about this now, because a lot of people like me don't rush through games. They have other stuff to do. And people are like, dude, it's like 2 months later. We haven't finished this shit yet. What's going on with this game? My wife is a huge fan of Assassin's Creed. This is the major game she's playing right now. And she agrees it's too long. She's not as far in the game as I am. She's maybe, I'd say, like 10 hours behind me. And she's like, oh my god, when does the story continue? And I'm like, yeah, you got more regions to take over before the story will continue. You're stuck. So, the fact that I've invested 70 plus hours into the goddamn game, I'm not going to just drop it, but I definitely hear you guys. I'm fatigued with the game as well. I more treat these streams more like interactive streams with you guys than even focusing on the game anymore, because at this point it's like, dude, this is just out of control. Seriously out of control. How long this game has gone on, and the fact that they haven't really done anything innovative or anything near the end of the game. It's the same shit over and over and over. It's like, god damn, man, when will we actually get the story conclusion? So we're doing a major stream of it tomorrow. Alright? I hope you'll come, even if you don't like the game or you're tired of the game, I hope you'll come and still chill with me, because it's still going to be a fun interactive stream. I totally understand if you're totally, like, burnt out on it. I am too. But I promise you we're going to finish it sooner rather than later. Because I think there's only, like, 2 more regions to take over after the one I'm in now. So, if we keep going on par with how we've been doing, basically one major stream is usually a major region. So maybe 2 to 3 more major streams, and then the conclusion, we'll finish it. So probably within 1 to 2 weeks, we'll finally be, finish it off by the middle of this month, I hope. Okay? Alright. Then tomorrow night, it's going to be a Yakuza 7 post-game stream. Yes, I've beaten Yakuza 7, but we are in the optional super dungeons. There's only one left. We beat the first one. And this is going to be 100% a chill stream. Reason being, there's no story left. All it is grinding in a very tough dungeon. I get the feeling we're going to have to grind multiple times to even get through each level of the dungeon. I've heard it's incredibly difficult. So, it's really going to be more about just chilling, having interaction, and talking and having fun while I do some combat in a dungeon, rather than actually focusing in on, oh, we have to make major progress and this and that. It's totally the opposite of, like, the original Yakuza 7, where it was very story-focused. Very different now. Okay? So I hope you'll join me for that tonight. Number 1, if you like Yakuza 7, or number 2, if you're just looking for a stream of chill interactions. That's what it's going to be all about. Now, on Friday, the major stream will be continuing on with Immortals Phoenix Rising. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm as shocked as you are that this game is working out as a major gameplay stream. Twice I've done it in the last week as a major stream. Twice people came out, hung out with me, supported the stream. It was a really good time. People were engaged. And I didn't know if it was going to work, and it's working. That's a good thing. So that's going to be on Friday. And I hope you guys will join me for that, because we're actually heading into a brand new area. It's the Forge Lands. We've beaten the Aphrodite and Ares areas of the map, and now we're heading into the 3rd of 5. So, should be fun to check out a new map area and see what it's all about on Friday. Okay? Friday night, it's going to be my weekly Throwback Street Fighter session, where we play old school Street Fighter for a couple of hours. You guys get to pick the characters I play. It's always a good time. I have to do it once a week. And then on Saturday, yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is finally time for my retrospective marathon event, where we will go down memory lane and we will be reviewing your nominated moments for the best things that I have done over the years in my 12 plus years of content creation. This is a really special event because in some cases it's the first time I've ever had a chance to go back and watch my own stuff, because I'm such a prolific content creator. I don't have time to go back and watch my own stuff and review it except for these special events. So that's a cool thing. I get to do commentary and criticize myself from the past, which is neat. Reacting to myself and seeing some of the cringeworthy shit I used to do is pretty entertaining. And during this event, there will also be a live DSP Tries It. I'll be checking out Papa John's new stuffed crust pizza, which just launched in about like the last week. And I'll be trying that out. And I will be dipping stuffed crust pizza in ranch sauce, which sounds absolutely disgusting to me, but some people swear that this is good. I guess we'll find out. All right. So, very good, and I'm very excited for Saturday's marathon. I hope you guys will join me for that. It should be a good time. And then, on Sunday, it will actually be a major daytime stream of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Why? Because I played it as the main stream last week, and you guys really seemed to enjoy it. I was shocked because I didn't know if this would work out as a main gameplay stream. I've only been playing it at night. But it went very well. People were engaged. They liked seeing me try out the knife for the first time, and, it was a good time. And by the way, I didn't rage quit. Overwhelmingly, you guys contacted me and said, guys, we don't want to see Phil rage quit anymore. So I did not rage quit a single match on Sunday, and people seem to like it, so I will not be rage quitting moving forward, because you guys don't want to see it, all right? So there you go. That's going to be Sunday. Now, of course, Monday, that likely means more Assassin's Creed, and I'm not sure what the night streams will be for those days yet. Because like I said, if we like Destruction All-Stars, then maybe I'll play it as the night streams one of those days, Sunday or Monday. Or maybe not. If you guys don't like it, if we hate it, and we don't have to ever play it ever again, maybe I'll do it like a Yakuza stream those nights. Or maybe we'll do Immortals Phoenix Rising as a night stream one of those nights. I'm not sure. We'll see. But that's roughly the streaming week. And then basically we're going to have a few more days before all the new content hits this month. And what I mean by that is the major new game of this month is Mario 3D World? Mario 3D World? Is that what it was? It's 3D World, right? It's not 3D Land. And then of course, once I finally finish Assassin's Creed, and that game is finally freaking done, the first game I'm starting up is Divinity Original Sin 2. Because I promised you guys to play through. It is happening this month, but I don't want to start it until I finish up one of these major playthroughs I'm doing. So once Assassin's Creed's done, Divinity begins. Okay? Good stuff. All right, guys, hold on 1 minute, because I just realized I told my wife that I was charging the Switch for her, because she actually wanted to. She's actually started playing Animal Crossing again. She hasn't played it since October. Neither of us have, but recently she started playing it again, and she said that this morning maybe she wanted to play it a little bit before she went to work, and I forgot to bring it to her, and now the door's closed. So I'm going to run downstairs and give her the Switch, and then I'm going to continue here. Give me like 1 minute. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. Told you it'd only be like a minute. All right, so so that's basically what's in store for this month. Okay, I hope it sounds good to you. Now, a couple other things. Excuse me. There's no subscribers goal for this month. All right, there's two reasons for that. The first reason there's no subscribers goal for this month is because I got so many events going on already. We've got the retrospective event on Saturday. We've got an upcoming second Viewer's Choice event coming up. Okay? That Viewer's Choice event, you guys are going to be nominating and voting on games for me to do for another playthrough here on the streams during the relatively dead time, because let's face it, outside of Mario, there's like nothing new this month. Okay? So it's going to be a good thing, because we'll be able to, maybe by the end of the month, start up another new playthrough that you guys nominate and vote on. But my point I'm making is I already got multiple events going on, I don't think we should be trying to do another one. I think we should give it a rest. It just doesn't seem to make sense to be building towards yet a third event when we haven't done the last two. In addition to that, being very honest with all of you, as I've mentioned over the last week, right now, I really need help with tips over the next 2 weeks. Basically, until I get paid by Twitch this month, I am completely strapped for cash. And being very honest here, this is not me exaggerating or anything. I really need help with tips. Meaning, if you guys are going to support the stream, which many of you do, and you are choosing, oh, I'm going to sub to the channel this month, or I'm going to cheer Phil today, I need help with tips, all right? Matter of factly, I need help with tips to pay my bills between now and the middle of the month. That's how strapped for cash I am right now, because I had to pay a ton of stuff at the end of January, because it was the beginning of the year and a lot of stupid bills come due and everything. On top of all of that, and this is no exaggeration, I just got 2 fucking chargebacks against my PayPal account, basically almost $60 from things in November. And that's the really shitty part of this whole thing that happened to me over the fall. Remember I told you how many fake tips I got and everything? Is that even though I've made changes, and now it looks like hopefully moving forward, like I won't get those chargebacks anymore, there's still lingering things from like the fall that could come back to bite me. Did you know you can charge back something up to 4 months after the fact? So we're talking like people in October who tipped could charge back at any time right now. And in particular, there were 2 tips in November that I didn't know were questionable, and they just hit me over the last day. And each one, totaling them up between the 2 and the fees and shit associated with them, it's over $60. So today, I'm not kidding. I'm starting negative $60 on the stream today. That's not a good feeling. That makes me feel like shit. That pisses me off. I did nothing wrong. This was a criminal who was using fake stolen credit card numbers to use fake tips over a course of 4 months, and it's going to come back to bite me over and over the next few months. It's bullshit. Okay? So, the good news is this should not really happen moving forward, because I've prevented these fake tips from coming in. I screen my tips now, as you guys know, but the truth is, it sucks because it could happen still at any time for the next couple of months. I could still get these chargebacks out of nowhere. And here I am. I'm in a situation where now I absolutely need as much support with tips as possible the next 2 weeks until I get paid by Twitch. So if you have a choice, I'm going to sub, I'm going to cheer. No, please tip me if you can. I need the help via tips right now, all right? So I figured it'd be pretty counterproductive and pretty hypocritical for me to set up a subscribers goal for this month when in the first 2 weeks of the month, I absolutely need to focus in on raising tips, all right? That would be pretty stupid of me, don't you think? So that's why I'm not doing it. That's why there's no subscriber goal for this month. Okay? All right. Fair enough. So, that's the schedule. That's what's going on right now. So I guess we'll talk a little bit about my day off yesterday. A couple things that I did. I had to run around, of course, do grocery shopping and the like, the usual. Now, our state of Washington has been in lockdown since November, meaning no restaurant dining, no entertainment, everything's closed because of COVID, okay? My section of the state actually just reopened at phase 2, which means because our numbers have gone down, they reopened restaurants again at a limited capacity, they reopened entertainment places at a limited capacity, all that stuff is open again, all right? But Kat and I did not run out and immediately go to anywhere, and here's why. Big news article came out over the weekend basically stating, even though everything's reopened, businesses basically just can't really operate here anymore. Because, why? Everyone who worked those jobs, restaurant jobs in particular, entertainment jobs, they went and got other jobs. They couldn't just sit around waiting for restaurants to reopen. And right now, people need consistent jobs. They can't take a job at a restaurant and then have the restaurant close back down in 2 months. Because they need a job where they can consistently make money. They have families, they have responsibilities. So a lot of these restaurants are only doing a delivery, service. They're not doing in-person dining. They're not allowed to. Now all of a sudden the governor's like, they're allowed to again. But all the restaurants are basically going back to the governor. And they're like, but you already screwed us. Like, you did this once before. Last year, you told us to reopen, so we did in the summer. We operated for 3 months. Then you closed us down again. Everyone who worked for us went and got other jobs, and no one wants to work here because we're afraid that they're all going to close again and you'll have no job again. So there was a lot of restaurants that would have reopened and haven't. They said, we can't reopen because if we do, we're not going to have enough employees. We can't find people to come back and work. So, pretty stupid, in my opinion. But I don't know what's going to happen. So Kat and I purposely said, you know what? Before we try to head back out there into the wild and go eat in person, which we like to do on our day off, is one of the things we most enjoy when we have a day off together, is actually going out and having a meal together because it gets us out of the house. It's something different. I'm stuck in this house 6 days a week. It's only my day off where I really go out, and we really enjoy going out and having physical activity, going around doing stuff physically, going in person to a restaurant instead of sitting in our dining room 7 days a week eating in the same setting. You know what I mean? It's kind of needed. But we basically said, no, we're not going to do it this week because chances are most of these restaurants are not going to be well equipped to handle the influx of people that are going to probably try to eat out now, and they can't hire anyone to work there. So, that being said, we kind of stayed home most of the day, and let's be honest, like I told you guys, I'm strapped for money right now. Basically, I'm only spending money on the essentials, so grocery shopping and stuff like that. But we stayed home most of the day, and we did two things. One thing we did is we ordered some dim sum. Now, I have never actually had dim sum before, except I'd say there's a restaurant around here at the local mall, and they do handmade dumplings. And we've had those a couple times, and they were pretty good, but it was never anything we really focused in on. We only had like once or twice, maybe. And I was always curious, because as you guys know, I play a lot of Japanese-centric games that take place in Japan. They have Japanese cuisine and culture. And they always talk about things like these different kinds of dumplings, steamed buns, and stuff like that. And I don't know anything about that stuff. I've never really had it before. So we found this place that delivers. Well, we found a place that, through a delivery service, you can order their food. And we ordered two kinds of dumplings and steamed buns. All right, we have those chicken soup dumplings, beef dumplings, and steamed pork buns. All right. First of all, the chicken dumplings and the beef dumplings were absolutely amazing. When you bite into these things, they're full of like juice and flavor. Like they say it's chicken soup dumpling. Like no lie, you bite into it and you're getting like chicken soup with chicken and other ingredients, vegetables in the dumpling. It was absolutely delicious. And then the first time ever I've had a steamed bun. My God, that was so unique, and it was insanely good. So have you guys ever had, like, gyoza, or have you ever had any kind of, like, a fried pork deal? You know what I mean? So imagine that, but imagine not fried. It's steamed, so it's actually way more healthy for you. No grease or anything on this thing. You bite into it, it's very soft and chewy, but it's very tasty and flavorful, and the filling is like the filling of a gyoza plus. Like, they freaking added in so many tasty ingredients to this thing. It was like mouth-wateringly good. Like, I would go as far to say it's actually now my new favorite thing. It was that good. I'm like, damn. I've been missing out. I've never had this before. Yeah, I've never had this before, and this shit is crazy good. So I was like blown away. And I guess this general kind of cuisine is called dim sum, and I believe it's actually Chinese cuisine. But I've had exposure to it because I play games like Yakuza and Persona, and it's always like a cuisine type in those games. Also, other RPGs I played, it's a cuisine type in those games. So I really liked it very much, and I'm like, damn, this is something that I definitely want to delve more into. This reminds me, like 2 years ago, I had Indian food really for the first time. And I was blown away by the Indian food, too. I was like, dude, when you open your cultural horizons to trying out new things from around the world, even if sometimes if it looks or sounds weird, you will find that 9 times out of 10, it's actually quite good. It's just that you have like a cultural bias against it. Here in America, in the United States, we don't really think about eating these international kind of cuisines. We just think about Americanized version. Americanized Chinese food is the furthest from real Chinese food you can eat. It's nothing like real Chinese food. When you actually get down to the nitty-gritty of what the Chinese actually make in their own restaurants, it's so different from what you would see here. So now, actually having an an opportunity to try out something that was way more authentic, and having it, I was blown away. And I actually can't wait to get it again, although I don't know when we'll get it again. But it was just like, damn. So for me, my first experience with dim sum, I give it a thumbs up. It was crazy good, and I can't wait to have it again. In particular, those steamed buns, steamed pork buns, that shit was the bomb, as they say. Yummy. Jackalee says Panda Express is pretty good. Are you out of your mind? Panda Express? That's an express trip to the toilet is what that is. That shit is fucking nasty. That shit sits... First of all, Panda Express is completely fake. It's all like breaded, nasty, like goopy, salty shit. They make it in a giant batch in the morning, and it sits under a fucking heat lamp all day. They wait for you to show up, and then they fucking scoop it out of this thing where it's been encrusted under a heat lamp, and they slather it into your fucking container like a cafeteria food. Like, people will go to Panda Express and essentially pay a lot of money for cafeteria food, cafeteria quality. I just don't understand people. That's disgusting. Seriously. Yuck. You know, and by the way, I used to eat Panda Express when I worked at a mall. It used to be one of the better things at the mall for the mall food court food. It's still not good, though. It's bad. Okay, anyway. So, absolutely delicious. Dim sum. Thumbs up, my friends. Okay. Also, my wife and I, since we were home, decided to do something different. And when I went grocery shopping, I grabbed some ingredients, and we actually baked a delicious blueberry, I guess technically it was supposed to be called like a blueberry crumble or something like that. It was really good though. It was like a ton of fresh blueberries with this topping, you know, breaded topping that was sweet. And you bake it in the oven, you mix it all up. It was very delicious. I love blueberries. Blueberries are one of my favorite fruits. And you would have noticed, you know, many years ago back when I actually used to post on Instagram, which I don't do anymore, because too many people harassed me on there, basically tried to micro-analyze my fucking life. And oh my god, did you see that thing in the background? That must be like a $4,000, you know, candle or something. So I stopped putting up Instagram pictures because people are pieces of shit. But back when I actually used to put up Instagram pictures, I used to show off whenever I got a batch of blueberries, because I really like blueberries. I think they're one of the tastiest fruits. They're also very healthy for you. In particular, they help with acidity, and I have issues with acid in my body. So they actually help out with that a lot. But yeah, having a blueberry crumble was absolutely good as well. Although I was so bloated from the absolutely delicious dim sum that we had made that I could only have like 2 bites of it. So hopefully tonight I'll be way less bloated and I'll be able to have some more of this blueberry crumble dessert that my wife made. It shocked me because a few years ago she tried making this. And at that time, the recipe that we had, it had oats. You know how you buy Quaker oats or whatever? And we didn't have anything to like chop the oats up. So here we are trying to like hand grind the oats in a bowl, and it didn't really work. So when we made it, it was very dry. You're like, it didn't come out right. This time we didn't use oats at all. It was a different recipe. Just basically with like flour and sugar and a few other ingredients, and it came out really good. Like, damn, that's fucking outstanding. So, too many blueberries can cause serious health issues. Yes, that's correct. Dookie, too much of anything can cause a serious health issue. Are you not aware? It's called moderation. You don't just sit there eating blueberries all day long. You will get sick. That is correct. That is absolutely correct. Genius level comment here. All right. All right, so that's the ins and outs of my day off. Not super exciting, but at the same time, some highlights for you guys. I'm sure you're very riveted. And now you're very pumped for gameplay today because you heard about my day off, right? So, ladies and gents, let us now move on. Let's do a brief plug segment. I don't really have game news to talk about today. Here, all right, here, in a nutshell, here's the game news for today. Everything's coming out in May. Like, that's the game news. Every fucking game is coming out in May. I think in the last 2 weeks, every game announcement, Resident Evil 8's in May. The Mass Effect Remastered Trilogy in May. Apex Legends coming to the Switch in May. It's like, that's great. What's happening in March and April? May. Okay, then. Well, yes, everyone. I'm excited for May, I guess. In May, I will be playing the Mass Effect trilogy, but I will not be playing Mass Effect 2 because I already played it last year. But I will be playing Mass Effect 1 and 3 again. 1, I'm particularly excited to play again. Why? Because the original game is a masterpiece, in my opinion, but it runs like shit on the original Xbox 360. It just runs very, very badly. It's very choppy in parts, and it basically is kind of very disappointing in a modern setting to play it. Back then, it was a different era, so you weren't used to smooth frame rate and graphics in a game, but to play it back today, you'd be like, oh my god, why is this game so choppy? And by the way, it was full of bugs. Like, I had a bunch of bugs where things would glitch out, and there was a part in the game where it would constantly crash, and sometimes even, like, fuck up your save file. So here's hoping that doesn't happen. Hopefully they fixed all those problems in this remastered edition. So it's going to be exciting to replay Mass Effect 1, only because that's a game that I really loved early on in the life cycle of the Xbox 360. I played it multiple times, and to replay it again years later with hopefully modernized graphics that hold up and the game doesn't crash should be pretty fun. And the Mass Effect 3 I only played once ever, so to replay that should be fun too. So I'm excited for those coming in May. And by the way, someone said, oh yeah, by the way, Deathloop comes out in May too. Yeah, it's like I'm serious, like all the games got delayed till May. So it looks like March and April will be very scarce for game releases, maybe 1 or 2 major releases each month. And then May, it's going to be like 14 games are coming out. All at once. Pretty crazy. But I guess, again, this is what happens with COVID, because usually it would be February, March, April are very busy for games. And then typically May, June, July kind of slow down. And then August is when it picks up for the busy gaming season. But again, this year, it looks like it's going to be just a weird year because all the games were staggered and kind of the releases were screwed up. So, I guess we're going to have to see. All right? We're going to have to see what happens. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I am an independent content creator. That means that I am honest. I give you my real opinions on whatever I'm playing live on a stream at any day when I'm playing, because I don't have to answer to anyone. I don't have any sponsors for which I have to shill, and I don't have any product placements or anything like that. I also am not exclusively contracted with any streaming service to stream on their platform, and I don't get paid a flat rate to turn on my stream like many other bigwig content creators, streamers, and or personalities out there on the internet today. I am truly independent because I get to say and do whatever I want, and because of that, I can be forthwith with you, honest, truthful. You know that what I'm saying during gameplay on a stream is truth because I'm not afraid of having a sponsor drop me, or I don't have to pull punches because I'm going to get in trouble and lose my contract. None of that, okay? And it really, people have told me that over the last 12 plus years that I've been a content creator, that's one of the major reasons why they still come back to me to this day and why I'm pertinent, is because I didn't sell out like a lot of these other people and become a shill and become a paid advertisement, when instead I'm one of the last true bastions of being an honest content creator, okay? Thank you for that. Thank you for the over 12 years you have allowed me to be me on the internet. Not to say that over the last 12 years things haven't changed. Absolutely they have. I've matured way more as a content creator. I don't make the lowbrow stupid jokes I used to. I don't feel the need to fill absolutely every moment of gameplay with commentary over cutscenes and stuff. I've definitely changed as a content creator over the years. I love what I do for a living. Coming to streams here with you guys and hanging out and having fun conversations and cool interactions is exactly what I love to do. And the fact that it's my job is just the icing on the cake. Like, I love gaming. I love interacting with you guys, and then being able to do it for a living. Wow. I realize how lucky I am, and I'm incredibly grateful to all of you for allowing me to do it as long as I have. And, you know, the end is certainly not in sight. Things are going good, right? So that's a good thing. So, that being said, the reason that I'm allowed to do this is because of your crowdfunding. Because you guys on a daily basis come by to my streams, you watch the content, and then you support it. And I appreciate that very much. I do. Because, you know, it's remarkable that enough of you guys love what I do to come crowdfund my efforts. You'd be shocked to know that most of full-time content creators do need some kind of sponsorship in order to make ends meet. And I don't, because you guys are so amazing. Okay? Excuse me. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you in advance if you're considering contributing to my stream and supporting my efforts to keep doing this today. There are many ways that you can contribute. You can cheer with bits. You can subscribe to the channel. You can gift a subscription to someone else who watches the streams. Or you could tip me. All right? All these are appreciated. All these help. And I do consider it going the extra mile if you do contribute, because I do not feel that contributions are mandatory at all on my streams, nor do I hold it against anyone. I feel it, you know, they're not expected, but it's awesome when they come in. My philosophy is, if I'm putting out a fun, entertaining stream for you guys, and you're having fun, and you want that to continue, you're going to contribute of your own volition. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you so much to those who do step up and contribute to keep the streams going and to allow me to do what I love for a living. Thanks in advance. Now, as I said earlier, right now, for the next 2 weeks, I am strapped for cash, all right? Being honest with all of you, I do need help with tips. And if that even means that normally you would be someone who cheers on the stream, normally you would subscribe to the channel, I would ask if you could tip me for the next 2 weeks. That would be much better. It would help me way more through a tough time until I get paid by Twitch, because I just had to drop so much money on bills and stuff. This would help me, and then we'll be back to normal, all right? So just being matter of fact and honest with all of you, please, if you can, tip me. That is the preferred method of contribution. I get those tips right away. I can put them towards the bills I need to pay for the next 2 weeks until I finally get paid by Twitch, and then I'll be okay. I'll be in the clear. But I have to get to there, all right? So please, if you can, please tip me, all right? Now, a few things in advance before any of you guys contribute, all right? First of all, I want you guys to be protected. I don't want people to be harassed online because they're a frequenter of my streams or because they contribute to my streams. So I have some advice for all of you. First piece of advice: do not use the same name on Twitch as you use on other social media accounts or other sites on the web. In addition, do not use your real name. That would be very bad. If people can associate your Twitch account with your real life person or your other, accounts online, chances are they may spill over and try to harass you. I know that sounds stupid, but people will do it just because they can get away with it. Oh, I harassed someone anonymously today. Ha ha ha. They actually get sick pleasure out of that because they're twisted fucks. So, make sure you're not using the same name, and make sure it cannot be associated with other stuff you do on the internet. That way you can't have crossover harassment. In addition to that, I strongly recommend that you close your open direct messages here on Twitch. Sadly, direct messages on Twitch are very regularly used for online harassment purposes. People who will insult you for you, they'll insult me, they'll send you a link, you click on it, now they logged your IP, and now they try to fuck with you. It's pretty stupid. I agree, it's completely stupid and pointless, but they will do it because they're stupid, pointless people with way too much time on their hands. So be careful about that, and please do everything you can to protect your identities, okay? There you go. Now, ladies and gentlemen, moving on from that, if you are going to tip me today, which I really need the help with, again, we have tips goals in place. If I raise $50 in tips, I'll put on the Gunner glasses, $100 will put on a vest. Since it's a new week, we'll just reset all the vests. Basically, all the vests will be eligible today, including, beige, blue, platinum, red, camo, etc. They'll all be available today, all right? But if you are thinking on tipping me today, all right, I will strongly recommend that you please go the extra mile and create a verified PayPal account. What does that mean? It means that when you register your PayPal account with PayPal, you include things such as your real name and address, but also things that will identify you, like your bank account or your ID information, etc. All right? Why do I recommend this? Because as I've told you guys, in the last 4+ months, I got so many fake tips from a criminal who stole credit card numbers from other people and then gave me fake tips. It has just residually keeps screwing over my business. I told you, today, I'm actually starting off today negative $60. I'm not going to put that on the leaderboard because I think that'd be pretty depressing, but I'm actually starting off today negative money because this guy tipped me with stolen credit cards in November, and now I get charged back for it months later. All right? It's really messed up, but there's nothing I can do about it. The good news is, like I told you guys, I have instituted things to basically phase out those kind of tips, and one of the changes is requiring that if you're going to tip me, you have a verified PayPal account, all right? That verified PayPal account shows that you're a real person with a real identity that's been confirmed by PayPal, and therefore, if anyone ever tried to commit fraud I get protections. I'd be like, no, here's the person's real identity. They're full of crap. They hold them responsible. Versus if it's someone using a stolen credit card, no one can be held responsible because it was all done anonymously. You see what I'm saying? Now, in addition, if you use PayPal for other stuff, having a verified account is very useful. It allows you to have protections like buyer and seller protections. If you ever go to buy stuff on eBay or whatever, it actually gives you added protections that you're going to want anyway. So if you use PayPal regularly for anything, you want those protections. It just makes sense to do so. Now, if you don't make a verified PayPal account, all right, chances are I'm not going to be able to accept your contributions, which sucks. There's been a few people over the last few weeks who were trying to be generous. I'm sorry, I can't accept the contribution until it gets verified. I don't know if it's real. It could get charged back, and I can't have that kind of liability against myself or my business right now. So please understand that. There's a few exceptions where regulars have come in, and I know who they are. And by the way, some people are trying to make verified PayPal accounts, and for some reason, it shows as registered but not verified. And if that's the case, then we can talk it out and figure it out. I don't know why that's happening, but I want to say thank you. In the last month, a lot of people have stepped up and made verified PayPal accounts, notably my longtime supporters, to help me out. And I really do appreciate that. Thank you guys in advance to anyone who does try to, support me via that method and going that extra mile. It really helps. And by the way, it's going to help out the streams tremendously because I don't have to sit here and verify every single tip, which people have turned into a meme called the tips audit meme. We even have an emote for it and everything. But yeah, it's jarring when I'm in the middle of gameplay. I have to stop playing a game to verify a tip, right? So instead of that, when I have verified tips coming in, I'm like, oh, okay, I know who that is. I can trust them. You see? And that works out much, much better. So, please go the extra mile if you can, and please support me by making that verified PayPal account, and thank you in advance. Again, to anyone who tips today, again, please, if you can tip me today, please do. I would much rather need the help with tips than anything else. And here's the thing. People are like, well, Phil, I don't understand because everything helps you, right? Yes, but you have to understand something. Cheering and subbing have a processing time. And if you cheer or sub today, I don't get anything positive from that until like the middle of next month. I need money to pay bills now. All right? I need to get through all my stuff to the middle of this month, and I can't do that without tips. So if you guys can tip me today, I really appreciate it. All right? Now, hold on one second because I'm going to pull down the blinds because the sun came out, and now it's so bright I can't see. Sun's like in my face. So I need to close the blinds. Hold on. Jesus. Okay. Phew. Alrighty. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to the third and the final segment of my pre-stream, which is called the shout-outs. This is when I go through your contributions and I give you a shout-out and we answer some questions. All right? So we're actually going to go all the way back to yesterday, where it looks like Golden Colts actually did a couple cheers yesterday. First, he said, regular mayo versus home-style mayo with real eggs versus mayo with olive oil versus light mayo. What's the verdict? I've tried a few of these, and I find olive oil mayo, it has a slightly different taste to it, almost a little bit more tanginess to it, but I like it. It actually has the lowest fat content from like all the mayos that I've seen. It's still fatty, by the way. It's still not good for you. But I think olive oil mayo is a good alternative to standard mayo because it's much better for you. I think I tried light mayo, and it was all right, but I think that I like the olive oil mayo better, and that's actually what I get. I get olive oil-based mayo, so. Golden Cold Street again, he says, what special foods are you making for Black History Month? None. I'm not a cook. I'm Can you imagine if I tried to make a traditional, like, African-American dish, how bad it would go? Like, are you kidding me? I'd probably burn my house down and make bad food. So I'm definitely not attempting that at all. All right? Golden Cold Shoot again. He said, for me, it's Big League Chew, the best chewing gum. Never had it. I always saw it in the stores as a kid. It always has that cartoony, like, baseball player on the front. I know what it is, like the shredded gum, right? You take, like, a handful of it and you chew it. Now, the weird thing about Big League Chew is that it's supposed to simulate chewing tobacco, which obviously today everyone knows is disgusting and it gives you cancer of the mouth and everything. But back then, like in the 80s, when I used to see Big League Chew as a popular thing in stores, like no one knew that or cared about it. They're, oh, it's so cute, the kid wants to chew, oh, give him Big League Chew. It's like today, it's like, so you're basically simulating your kid chewing tobacco. It's kind of like candy cigarettes, which, again, when I was a kid, they were kind of innocent. Now it's kind of like, so you're giving your kid a candy that looks like they're smoking a cigarette, which if they did in real life, they could get cancer and die. So, it's kind of weird. But I don't know, is Big League Chew still even popular? I don't think I've actually seen it in stores in a while. But, Ashen G Forever gifted a subscription to H.A. Chubby during my day off yesterday. Thank you for that support. I appreciate that. Blanca Lives Matter cheered. He says, Phil, I heard you talk a lot about accessibility over the last year. I'm wondering, why don't you use automated closed captions extension on Twitch? They're very easy to set up. You just click a button, and I think your deaf or hard of hearing audience may like that. Otherwise, they have to wait till the video on demand goes live on YouTube to understand it. That's interesting. You know, I haven't even heard anything about that. I didn't know. I don't understand why they don't just have it by default. Like, why doesn't Twitch have that by default? I don't know. Like, it would be nice if they had an option that said closed captioning available. I would click it right now and turn it on. But I guess you need to go outside of the realm of what Twitch provides and find like a third-party extension to do it. Let me put it this way. All right? If there's demand for it, if people think that it would be useful, and if someone can actually recommend a good extension for this that works and would not hinder the streams or screw them up. Because my problem is when I've done some extensions before, people have told me that it's very negatively affected the streams. Like the stream lags or locks up because of certain extensions. So I wouldn't want to put anything on the stream that obviously would hinder the experience for everybody. You know, we're trying to help out people who need the extra help. We're not trying to take away and hinder everyone watching. You see what I'm saying? So let me know. All right, let me know, and we'll go from there. But I would need more information. And apologies, I just don't have time to look into it myself. You know, just to give you guys some perspective. The last week, every freaking moment I had of free time was taken up, working not only on my streams but my year-end series and in my real life behind the scenes. This week, supposedly I'm supposed to be working on my taxes. My tax guy wants me to fucking get my tax stuff together within a week. I'm like, dude, I have a life. I don't just sit here and do tax shit like you. You know, that's what I fucking pay you for. Now he wants me to get all my tax information together within a week. I don't even have stuff like my wife doesn't even have her pay information yet from her employer to do her taxes. So I don't know how I'm expected to have mine, but apparently I'm supposed to get everything the next week. So I got to work behind the scenes here. But that's what I mean. Like, if you could provide me all the info about this extension and I have like 20 minutes to figure it out, then maybe I'll do it. But outside of that, I don't really have time to look into it myself, and I apologize. Okay. Continuing on. Havel the Rock has resubscribed for 2 months in a row, 3 total. Thank you, Havel the Rock, for the resub. Good to see you. Thank you for the support. Appreciate that. Now we get to people who have cheered. Well, actually, Fantasy Star cheered a bunch, but this was before the stream went live. No, actually, it's not. Now that I'm taking a look, he actually did cheer during the stream. Never mind. So I will count this. So, Havel the Rock. Ouch. No, not Havel the Rock. Excuse me. This is Fantasy Star PG. Is our first cheer of the day. Let's get that up on the leaderboard here. So that is 50 bits. Oh my god. I just changed the battery in my mouse, yet it's still messed up, which leads me to believe it wasn't the battery. It's probably like it can't track well on my desk here for some reason, where it's sitting. I don't know. It's very weird. But anyway, let's move this. Okay. So Fantasy Star PG is the first cheer of the day. He says, in the Resident Evil series, do you think there needs to be stealth kills and better melee? Coming off The Last of Us Part 2 that had good melee and stealth kills. Resident Evil's dated gameplay doesn't feel the same. While that style worked in the 90s, it doesn't in modern day. Having limited melee and no stealth kills doesn't make the game scarier, only more frustrating, having less options to deal with the enemies. Especially when the game's layout lets you circle around rooms and get behind enemies. I mean, yeah, I feel, at least against slower enemies, like the slow-ass zombies and stuff, maybe you should have the ability to sneak by them or whatever. Then again, if you take a look at Resident Evil 7, how many slow zombies were in the game? It was mostly like hideous monster mutations and all kinds of weird shit you were fighting, bugs and shit. It wasn't necessarily like traditional zombies walking around. So, yeah, maybe if they remade Resident Evil 1, that would make sense. But for the modern Resident Evil games, they're just so fucking weird at this point with what you're fighting. They're not even zombies anymore. I don't know. But I do hear you. Yeah, Resident Evil being more modernized makes sense. Resident Evil 7 was pretty modernized, but again, it had some limitations. We'll see what happens with Resident Evil 8, I guess. All right, Phantasy Star PG cheered again. He says, gamers may hate when once great gaming companies like Valve, Epic Games, Konami, and Activision go the route of microtransactions and services. Well, people need to understand they are not Sony and Microsoft, who have dozens of divisions across the company bringing in money. I mean, that is true, but at the same time, you should also understand that microtransactions are not the only way to make money. Microtransactions, in my opinion, all right, here's what I think. And you can disagree with me, and that's okay. If you're a company that is going to put out something that's free, you developed a game that is absolutely free from the ground up. You're not going to charge anyone anything along any point of the way. All right? And you want to put microtransactions in that game to finally make a profit, I fully support that. I absolutely fully support that, okay? I don't see a reason why there shouldn't be microtransactions in a game that's completely free to get, okay? Now, if that's the case, there should still be a way to play that game and viably make progress, although admittedly what I've seen in these free-to-play games is they make you grind a ton. Like, in order to actually have progress and not pay, you have to play the game like incessantly, non-stop, over and over and over to grind resources, etc., in order to progress in the game. All right? Typical example of this, a game that was not free to play, but I'll give you an example that's mainstream. Middle-earth Shadow of War, was it? Was it Shadow of Mordor or Shadow of War? It was one of them. But at the end of the game decides you lose all of the orcs you've recruited the entire game. The only way to beat the game is to re-recruit orcs through grinding gameplay, which takes like 20 plus extra hours. Or spend money, microtransactions, and buy the fucking orc army. As crazy as that sounds, that's exactly what it was. Buy your orc army and skip 20 hours of grinding, boring gameplay. Okay? This is how these free-to-play games get you with the microtransactions. Man, do I really want to sit here and grind for 2-3 weeks playing this repetitive shit just to get the next level or unlock the new dungeon or get a new character? Or do I just want instant gratification? Right? And so people fall for the instant gratification. They drop the money, right? And there you go. That, I understand that model, and I think that model works to some extent, but only if the game you're providing is free to play. All right? You didn't charge up front. All right? What I don't like are games that you don't get the guaranteed, the progress you want, and instead everything's randomized. So, for example, okay, you've hit a wall. You can either grind for 20 hours and get the items you need, or you can sit here doing randomized loot box pulls, hoping you're going to get the item you need. And instead of, okay, spend $20, you get the item you need, you can now progress in the game. It's spend $20 for 20 random chances to pull the item you need. But by the way, the chances to actually getting what you need is insanely low. It's gambling. It's fucking gambling. And that's terrible. And that's really, in my opinion, that's where the whole microtransaction things goes off the rails and is completely goes awry. And that's what needs to be fixed. I don't mind if you have to pay some money to progress in a game that was free, if it means that you save time. That makes sense. But not, gambling in order to see if you can even play the game. Like, who the fuck made this mainstream and thought this was a good idea? I have no idea. But it's terrible in my opinion. It is. It's fucking garbage. I misspelled Phantasy Star PG. Hold on. You're absolutely right. Wow. That is... Hold on a second here. There we go. Thank you for telling me so I could fix that. Yeah, now, so I definitely, I say microtransactions have a place, all right? They do. They absolutely have a place. As long as you're guaranteed to get what you're spending on, you're not gambling, okay? Now, I can tell you where I never believe microtransactions have a place. Games you already fucking paid for. If that game company already made the sale, they made the money on that transaction, why are they charging you more money for in-game content? You bought the game outright. Anyone, and I mean this, anyone who spends $60 on a game and then goes back and repetitively drops more money and more money and more money and more money and more money into that game is a sucker. They got you hook, line, and sinker. You fell for the trap, and now you can't get out of it because you're so used to spending more money on that game that it just becomes common. Oh, I'm just going to drop $5, $10, $20 on this today. Dude, you paid $60 already. You already paid $60. What are you doing? Really, what the fuck are you doing? Like, and you're lining the pockets of a company. You really are. You're lining their fucking pockets. And, it's just crazy to me. It is. It's crazy to me that people do this. So, I don't know. It just blows my mind that that this is the case and people do that. But it is what it is. It's a commonplace thing these days. You know, if you take a look at these sports games, with Ultimate Team, this is what people do. You already bought the game, and look at how much money you're dropping on this shit. Like, that's just crazy. Now, in regards to what Phantasy Star PG was saying here, he says, gamers may hate once great gaming companies like Valve, Epic Games, Konami, and Activision when they go the route of microtransactions and services, but people need to understand they're not Sony or Microsoft who have dozens of divisions across the company bringing in money. All right, fair enough. Game development companies that 100% are game development companies. They're not diversified companies who are making a wide variety of services and products. They don't have money to fall back on besides what they make in their game divisions, okay? So fair enough. Yeah, Sony and Microsoft are giant companies that make tons of money outside of games. Even though games are a chunk of what they do, it's not their end-all, be-all, okay? But I don't think that's an excuse. Like, for example, Valve. They were making games that were selling ridiculous amounts of copies. They were rolling in money hand over fist. But they actively chose to stop making games in order to create a marketplace to sell games on PC and just make money on the microtransactions. Like, that was their choice. They didn't fall into that by accident. That was the direction that they brought the company. So, no, I don't forgive them for that. You know? Activision. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Activision, the company that makes a ridiculous amount of games, you know, publishes all these games, wide variety. They're massively diversified. They don't need microtransactions at all. All right? They just don't. They could pump out quality enough games that people would make money hand over. They just want the extra money. That's all it is. They just want, they saw, all these companies saw a pattern. They said, how is it that these mobile games are so successful and making so much money for minimum effort? And then they looked at the formula, the microtransaction formula. Buy this to advance more quickly. Buy this for a randomized chance to get what you need. And they all copied. They did. They just all copied to give me free money. And they did. They got it. I'm sorry. I don't give them a pass on that. I think that's underhanded and dirty. It's a part of our gaming lives now. It's become way more mainstream than you even think. Most games have these shitty microtransactions in them. There's nothing you can do about it, but it doesn't mean that we have to support it and say that it's okay, because it's not. Okay? Phantasy Star PG cheered again said James Bond, the Game vs. Perfect Dark reboot. I wonder what game will be better. Originally, both classic games were made by Rare. That's correct. I have no idea. Saitama cheered. He says, Wings is a good guy. I hope he gets the help and support he needs. Me too. Absolutely, me too. I wish the guy the best. I really do. I hope that he has a full and awesome life, and I hope that, you know, his issues get resolved and he gets the support he needs to succeed in life, because it seems like he's not getting that, at least from what people tell me. But all I know is hearsay. I don't attend the guy's streams or whatever, but obviously, you know, people are concerned for the guy. I am too, from what I've heard, and I wish him the best. I hope that he does get better. Lies of Her Soul resubscribed for 7 months and says, thanks for all the laughs. It's been a legit fan since your original Fallout 3 playthrough. Well, there you go. Thank you, Lies of Her Soul, for the long-standing support. Then he did 100-bit cheers. I like the new jumping artwork of me. Yes, this is something that was submitted during my day off. Well, actually, I think it was maybe like Monday night. So I said, I'll add it in today, see how it looks. And it works. It's funny because a lot of people are like, oh, it's weird, there's motion. Yeah, like, I could have done this the whole time. And people could have submitted moving GIFs like that, like, the whole time. But people never did. It was always just stationary artwork for whatever reason. But we could have that on the streams. It works. I mean, obviously, I play animations on the stream all the time for contributions. Why wouldn't it work in the slideshow, right? So there you go. I like it. I think it's neat. Something different. Rob on Wheels has did a 500-bit cheer. Thank you very much, Rob on Wheels. Let's get that on the leaderboard as the top cheer of the day so far. Good to see you, Rob. And he says, Ivor's actor actually plays another Viking in the show The Last Kingdom. I started watching it yesterday. Oh, I've never heard of it, but that's cool. It's just, I guess the question is, does he look exactly like Ivor? Because you would assume in the modern day here that these voice actors are doing a lot of the mocap work too, which is awesome. So I hope they get paid enough to justify that. Not that they're getting paid like for just voice roles, but they're doing mocap too. I hope that's not the case. I like Ivor as a voice actor. I think the character is very good. So I'm curious to know, does he look like just like the guy? You know, because sometimes the mocap, you know, is great, but the character looks totally different from the voice actor, right? Okay, Lives Were Sold at a 200-bit cheer. He says, why did you reject WWE's offer to perform at the Royal Rumble this year? They had to choose to bring in Bad Bunny instead of you. That's correct. They did. And it's funny because, as you guys know, I don't watch wrestling anymore, all right? But what I do is I follow along on social media, so I don't have to. I know everything that happened in wrestling anyway, even though I don't watch the wrestling anymore. So I found out that this musical artist Bad Bunny, who apparently outside of the United States is very popular in certain territories, basically was in the Royal Rumble. He came out and performed a song, and then he actually interfered in the Royal Rumble, and he got a couple wrestlers eliminated and stuff like that. And now they've actually got him invested in a program where he's kind of paired with a new wrestler who's just got introduced to the mainstream TV shows. So it's interesting in that regard, but what's the funny part about all this is, first of all, I don't know who the fuck Bad Bunny is. All right? I don't know anything about that. I don't listen to this modern music shit that people call music that I don't feel is music. I haven't heard a single note or lyric of this guy. So I don't know if he actually is a good singer or rapper or whatever. I have no idea. All right? But the funny part about all this is, apparently, the WWE audience has no clue who this guy is. Because I thought he was mainstream. I've seen him on social media before trending for stuff. But then I read all the, the wrestling tweets. Everyone's like, who the fuck is Bad Bunny? And I don't care about this motherfucker. Get him off my screen. I don't want him on the show anymore. I can't believe he was in the Royal Rumble. Oh my God, I can't believe he's on fucking Monday Night Raw now. I hate this guy. Look at him. He looks like a creep and all. This is not me saying this. This is wrestling Twitter completely destroying the guy. I'm like, damn. So here's a guy, obviously if he's in WWE, he's probably a lifelong wrestling fan. Why else would he be in? He probably wanted to be a wrestler. Everyone dabbles in, I want to be a wrestler when I grow up. And of course, never comes to fruition. But likely he's a pro wrestling fan, and he wanted to do some fun stuff with WWE, and they offered him the opportunity. Like, sure, this is cool. So he does it, and he gets completely dumped on. Like 100%. They just dumped a big sticky duty dump right on his face, basically destroying him, saying he sucks, he's a terrible musician, he shouldn't be in wrestling. Like, damn. That's pretty fucked up. So, I don't know. Again, I don't know anything about it. Because I'm not watching the product, nor do I even know who Bad Bunny is. But damn, people are fucking harsh in the modern day. They just like, holy shit, dude. Okay, Lives Were Sold at I already read that. We Stream No Games is resubscribed for 38 months. Thank you very much, We Stream No Games, for the long-standing support, and it's good to see you today. I hope you're doing well. Bleach number 9 is the first tipper of the day with $1 tip. So let's get that up on the leaderboard. Thank you, Bleach. Whoops, that was incorrect. There we go. All right, and Bleach number 9 says, I was watching the best countdown. I gotta say, it didn't feel like you really loved any of the games. When you stream them, you always complain about how bad they are and how they're broken. Well, obviously then, you don't understand how being an honest streamer works. Because when you're an honest streamer, if you're playing a game and something annoys you, you call it out. But equally as much, you'd tell people if you're enjoying a game. If you didn't notice, all the games that were in my countdown for the best games of the year were games that I completed or I'm in the process of completing. And I've told you guys multiple times the things I love about them, and that's why I keep playing them. Just because in the heat of the moment there's something I don't like does not mean I overall hate the game overall. That's a very immature mentality. So let me get this straight. Because you you said you don't like this game at this one part, that means the game sucks, right? No, that's not what it means at all. That's incredibly stupid to think that. That's childlike thinking. That's either all good or all bad. In reality, most games are balances of good and bad, and you have to see what overweighs what. If the good outweighs the bad, then it's a good game overall, and it could be one of my top contenders for Game of the Year. Okay? So there you go. What you have there, Bleach, is a unfair mentality, thinking that I hate every game just because I'm honest and I'm not kissing their ass. Sorry again that I'm not one of these shill streamers who's in a ton of sponsorships for every fucking game that they play to get paid to play the game, and then they literally don't criticize the game at all but just kiss its butt constantly because they get paid to do so. That's not me. Okay. Lives of Our Soul now has done a 550-bit cheer to become the top cheer of the day, so let's get him up on the leaderboard here. $550. He says, can I have my very own segment in your pre-stream where I say how amazing, great, and life guru you are to the masses, just stroking your ego? No. Lives of Our Soul cheered again. He says, growing up, were you ever like inside a bounce house playing wrestling with friends? No. X Shook One's X tipped me $5. Thank you very much. That's the biggest tip of the day. Let's get that up on the leaderboard. Total tips now up to $6. Thank you. Oops. Thank you for that. All right, and he says the following. I enjoyed Origins and Odyssey, but Valhalla is boring as shit. I'm 95 hours in. 95 hours in. And I'm still not done. I'm so tired. I've stopped playing it for 2 weeks now. Eventually, I'll jump back in. See what I mean? Like, I think, sadly, here's Ubisoft's mentality these days is quantity over quality. That's the problem. If every moment you were playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it felt like it was really meaningful, then you'd probably care. But the problem is, after you've taken over 10 plus territories in fucking England, and then you're expected to do 5 more, it's like, are you out of your fucking minds? You know, it's no, where's the variety? Give me something, dude. Give me some major plot advancement, something. And instead, it's just the same shit. Like, oh my God, they fucking don't know what they're doing. I hear ya. It's just, it becomes fatiguing. Fatiguing. Really, that's the best way to describe it. It's fatiguing. You get tired of playing it. There's a thing called pacing, and I guess Ubisoft never heard of it. Danger Closest cheers is the soup-filled dumplings you speak of are called Xiaolongbao, and they're a specialty from Shanghai, China. Wow. Xiaolongbao. I like that. Dude, they were very good. I had, like I said, both the chicken and the beef. They were incredibly flavorful. I was like, dude, biting into it is like a bite of soup with meat in it. It's like crazy good. So that's very good to learn, Xiaolongbao. Thank you very much, Danger Close. Snoozy cheered. Says, what are your top 3 favorite desserts? Here's the thing. I don't have favorite desserts. I have chocolate. Like, I love chocolate. So if I'm ever given a choice between chocolate and something else, I will choose chocolate. I don't care if it's cake. I don't care if it's ice cream. I don't care if it's a fudgy brownie. I don't care if it's tiramisu. I don't care if it's like, what do they call it? I can't even think of the name of it now. That whipped dessert. It's like whipped flavored cream or whatever. Always go with chocolate. As me, I'm just a chocoholic, dude. Like, I can't stop eating chocolate. It's my favorite thing. Now, there are other things I like. Like, for example, this blueberry crumble my wife made is amazing. But if there was a chocolate dessert sitting next to it, I'd be eating the chocolate. That's just how I am. But I don't necessarily have 100 like favorite desserts. It's just chocolate. Shook One's tipping another $2. Said February, March, and April is the calm before the storm. May will be the shit show of games back to back. Yeah, it's gonna be like the fall again. It's gonna be like 10 games coming out in 1 month, and there's no way anyone can play them all. I don't know why these game publishers are intent on doing this. It's the stupidest marketing strategy possible, but they do it over and over. Thank you for the tip. Westside Rascal cheered and said, if you're strapped for cash, you're tired of eating at home, go to a park or beach and enjoy a home-cooked meal in a new environment. So let me get this straight. You want me to cook a home-cooked meal that's fresh and warm at home. You then want me to go to a park and sit in the open with open air bugs and all kinds of shit and sit there eating my meal cold on a park bench. No, that's a real... What the hell? What happened here? Well, I'm glad that I saw this. Fix this. No, I'm not going to do that. That's a stupid idea. Okay, there we go. I don't know. I must have hit my camera or something. All right. Westside Rascal cheered again. He says, can it not be possible to have sponsors yet remain honest and in touch with your viewer base? Maybe there's a middle ground. Here's the thing. Yes, it is, but sadly, the sponsors usually won't let you. Let me explain what I mean by that. When you do any kind of a sponsorship, all right, whether it's a product placement, whether it's getting paid to play a game in particular on your stream, usually there is a non-disclosure agreement as well as a criteria rule set that you must follow in order to qualify for said promotion. And I can tell you from first-hand experience, all right, that in most cases, these places will tell you outright that you are under a non-disclosure agreement if you're playing the game early. You may not criticize the game because that would be considered a game review, and they have embargoes for when said content can be created. So, for example, I got a copy of, I don't know, I'm just throwing this out there. This is not actually happening. This is just an example. I got a copy of Deathloop, and I could play it 2 weeks earlier than everybody else, and I got sponsored to play it on my stream. That's great, and you could do that, and of course, you're probably going to get a ton of money doing it because no one else can play it, so they're going to tune into your stream to see you play it early and see if they actually like the game. But while you're playing it, you're not able to criticize the game at all. You can't say, oh man, that kind of sucks, that part, or man, I wish they'd done this differently. You can't even do that. Under the NDA, you're told that's criticism. That's not allowed until the review embargo lifts. You literally can only say positive things about the game or say nothing at all. Just play it with bare bones commentary. You cannot actually say anything negative about the game. If you do, you violated the agreement and you basically don't get the money. That's the truthfulness about it. I'm being honest. That's how a lot of them are. Not all of them. I'm sure there's some of them that are like, okay, you can do whatever you want. But let's face it, these companies are giving you a game to promote it. They're not giving you a game to enjoy it. They're not giving you a game to be honest and put out a review of it. They just want you to promote their game. You're not getting... That's the difference between what I do and any of those paid promotions is I am here to tell you honestly about what I think about the game on the fly. It's basically a live review. Every time I play a game, it's a live review. I'm not kissing a game's butt. That's exactly what the companies want you to do. So unless you find a rare company that doesn't care that you're going to be honest and possibly criticize or slam their game, which good luck finding that. Why would they pay you for that? You see? Just it's implied when you're getting paid to stream a game that you're promoting said game, or else why are you getting paid to begin with? Right? So that's the problem with these promotions. That's the problem with these top streamers who already are making money hand over fist because a lot of them have these exclusive contracts with Twitch. They don't need the sponsorships, but they're greedy. So they take on all these fucking sponsorships and they just kiss a game's butt constantly. I mean, all right, case in point. All right? Case in point. Many years ago, I took criticism because people got State of Decay 2 early, like a week early, and they were streaming it on Twitch, and they were not criticizing the game at all. They were just kissing its butt. And I spoke up about it on Twitter publicly, and I got slammed by all these content creators. They all came after me and started attacking me on Twitter. Oh, you're just a grumpy old man. You're mad because you don't get sponsorships. No. I'm mad that people think you're an actual content creator who's honest when you're a scumbag who just takes a paycheck and you don't care about actually if people buy good games or not. Because that game was fucking terrible. That game, State of Decay 2, was far inferior to the original game. It sucked shit. It was glitchy. It had less content. The story was terrible. And if those people were honest, probably no one would have bought the game. But they kissed the game's fucking ass for a week. People ran out and bought it, and they all bought a terrible fucking game because those people were paid to lie. That's the problem that I have with modern streamers and modern promotions, is that it gets people to buy crap. And people don't deserve to be lied to, so that some person whose pockets are already fucking lined get to fucking buy that second Corvette. All right? Fuck them. And that's what I'm never going to be. I'm always going to be honest and upfront with all you guys. Westside Rascal cheered. No. What the fuck are you saying, dude? Seriously, Westside Rascal, what is your problem? Like, you actually asked some legit questions, then you said something completely fucked up. I mean it. Like, you gotta apologize right now that you even said this. Because I'm not even gonna read it, because it's a terrible thing to say on the stream that you can make someone do this, and then they get into fucking trouble. That shit's not funny, you asshole. Fucking apologize right now. I mean it. I'm not even going to say what he said because just saying it could make people do it and then it'll be bad for them. Seriously, and you know what you said. You're an asshole. You think that this is funny. That shit's not funny, dick. That's a fucked up thing to even say on the stream. So I'm expecting an apology or expect my foot on your ass. It's fucked up. Lunaba is here and tipped me $3. Says, I watched your disappointing games of 2020 on YouTube. I was entertained. I'll watch the other one later. Sounds good. Thank you very much, Lunaba. I appreciate that. All right, you just apologized. Yeah, that shit's not funny, dude. It's not. You know what you said. That shit's not. You think it's a joke? That's not funny because someone might come in here and then do it, and the next thing you know, they're getting fucking harassed because you're an asshole. So don't even fucking play that game. All right? This is my place of business and my stream, not your place to fuck around. And it's so dumb because you just asked me legit questions that we talked about for a while, and I enjoyed answering them, and then you have to say something stupid. So you know better. Savage Today has did a 500-bit cheer. Thank you, Savage Today, for the very generous cheer. He says, many video game to movie adaptations are on the way, like Uncharted and Borderlands. Is there a video game franchise you would like to see adapted over to film? How about Mass Effect? Or Bioshock? Something like that would be pretty cool. Always Hot Tea cheer. He says, whatever happened to the game studios making games that are actually completed with replay value? Like modern games are all quick cash grabs with no passion. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I definitely feel that. I do feel that a lot of modern games don't have the passion behind them anymore. But you know what happens is when you see that and then you have outstanding games that come out, like, for example, God of War or Yakuza 7, Ghost of Tsushima, when you see games that come out that actually have passion, they stand out among the pack. Like, they really are like gleaming golden idols of what gaming should be when you see all this generic shit sitting around them. You know what I mean? Okay. Oh, that's actually nice. Snow Carl cheered. Is speaking about spending money. You see, there's, I guess, a content creator named Tyler, and he refunded a very large donation. He says he doesn't want people who make less than him spending money for recognition or shout-outs. Do you think he's as nice and humble as he seems? I don't know. I don't know the guy. But that's great. Let me put it this way. If you are a content creator who's making enough money that you don't need to rely on crowdfunding, more power to you to not accept those contributions. In fact, back in the day, when I was a full-time YouTuber, from the years of 2011 all the way through like 2015, I was not actively accepting anything outside maybe someone wanted to donate a game, or like some people sent me cookies and stuff from their native countries and shit like that. But I would not accept financial contributions. I told everyone, listen, I'm making good money. I don't need anything from you guys. You know, I'm good to go. And it wasn't until later on when things fell apart on YouTube with ad revenue, and of course, false copyright strikes destroyed my ability to make money on my YouTube channel, and yada, yada, yada. We're not going to get into it. But later on is when I started crowdfunding because I had to make ends meet. The truth is, if I made enough money on ad revenue, or if I had an exclusive partnership with Twitch to stream and I made $1 million a year and all this shit, I would not accept contributions from you guys at all. I mean that wholeheartedly, 100%. I told you guys, this is about having fun together. This is about having a good time with games. This is not about making money. It's just not. It never was. That's why I did this for 2.5 years on YouTube and never made $1 doing it. Okay? It's that, and of course, here's all the idiots who say, oh, I don't believe him. Well, you can go fuck yourself then. And I mean that. Every single person in the chat right now who says they don't believe can go fuck themselves. Every one of you. And this is the truth. If you don't believe me, leave now. Just leave right now. Leave. Don't come back. You're not welcome. If you're going to sit here and say everything I say is a lie, go fuck yourself, leave. Don't come back ever. I don't need you here. You're a piece of garbage. Go fuck off. Okay. Ugly Tuna Roll tipped $2.50 and said, I just want to give a shout out to Killer Kitten. He gifted me a subscription. I was not in attendance during the stream. Definitely have to, a good day today, mate. Yeah, Killer Kitten. I don't know who that was. They came the other night and gifted like a 50 sub bomb to the channel, which was very generous. And obviously a lot of people got gifted subs that they didn't even know. So congratulations to you, Ugly Tuna Roll. Thank you for the tip. And yes, thank you to Killer Kitten for that channel support earlier in the week. Snow Carl cheers. Isn't getting your news from Twitter dangerous, considering how extreme people usually are on there? It might give you an angle that doesn't reflect the majority in regards to gaming or wrestling. I don't just read one tweet, dude. I don't just read one tweet. Usually what I do is I'll read a variety of stuff, especially if it's like a news story. I don't just believe it right off the bat. I see if it's corroborated by other news sources, etc. You're right. Sadly, there's a lot of misinformation in the modern era. People trying to fuck around and stuff. But I don't play that game. Total Scorn Cheer says, obviously you have to... What the fuck? Well, there's no way I could read what you just said, but thank you for the cheer. Funny Maverick Cheer says, you love chocolate overall, but have you ever had Cadbury's milk chocolate? If you haven't, you're missing out. I have had Cadbury's milk chocolate. It's very, very good. I also like Dove milk chocolate. That's very, very good. Jad F. Cheer says, looked like Diglett for a second there. Oh, when I went to the webcam and I was only the top of my head was sticking out. Thank you, Jad F, for the cheer. That actually is funny. Dr. Unit 2 cheers. How do you know what's in agreement of an early copy if you never get them? Because I've seen them. I've been a part of. I've been offered them. I have been in, I think, 2 of them. Remember, I was Fallout 4. What was the other one? I think there were 2 of them that I've been a part of over the years, and they're all the same. These contracts don't change. They're all exact. Why do you think, with State of Decay 2, when I outright called out content creators and said, these people who are getting this game early and playing it right now are shills, that's why they're not being honest with you, but I'll play it later in the week and be honest. Why do you think they came and attacked me on Twitter? I'm nobody. I'm not anyone important. Right? So why did they all of a sudden all come to the defense of people getting the games early and being in the NDAs? Because it was true. They were afraid that I was going to expose the whole system of how it works. And they were, oh shit, someone who's a verified guy on Twitter just said that that we're all getting paid big money to lie about these games. Oh shit, we got to go slam this motherfucker. See? I basically was you know, striking true on how they work. And they basically saw dollar signs flying out of their pockets if I exposed it. So they went and they just attacked me on Twitter. Because they're disingenuous scumbags. They don't put out streams, they put out advertisements. You know? So it's in their eyes, oh my God, someone's actually slamming us for making money because we don't put out genuine content. Let's go attack him. You know what I mean? So, there you go. Timbo Slice Judy said, somehow Amber Alert was released in Texas. It says Chucky, the murderous doll from Child's Play, is the suspect of a kidnapping his son Glenn doll. Either they were hacked or someone is now going to be fired. Okay, then. Westside Rascal Cheers, what's your favorite chocolate bar? Ooh. Overall, man, that's a tough question. Because I like just pure chocolate. Just a pure Hershey bar is damn good. But I like Snickers with the peanuts and the nougat and the caramel is good. Milky Way with a nice whipped nougat in the middle. The chocolate flavored nougat is really good. Kit Kat with the wafers, that shit is good. There used to be this one called Symphony. And what this was, I think it was Nestle? No, it was Hershey's Symphony. And they had different ones, but my favorite one they had, it had pieces of almonds, but also pieces of like toffee in it. And that shit, the chocolate was so good it would melt in your mouth, and then you get these other flavors in it, and that was like incredibly good. But I haven't had a Symphony bar in like 10, 15 years. So, those are some of my favorites. Your Ha has subscribed to the channel. Thank you, Your Ha, for the sub. I appreciate that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we finally got through all the contributions. By the way, thank you for the contributions. Thank you for the discussion. Every day when I come back from my break, there's always an insanely long pre-stream, so I was expecting this today. Oh, Your Ha just gifted 5 subscriptions to the community. Thank you. So, congratulations to the following people. Bloy Ripper, 150, Male Feminist Discord Admin, Romo the Nomad Swagger, Drexel 303, and Danger Close. Congratulations to all of you on getting a gifted subscription, and thank you, Your Ha, for the support. Timbo Slice also said that Texas thing isn't a joke, it's on national news. Just sounds like someone's an idiot over there. I mean, are you shocked? I mean, the real news story is someone's an idiot. Well, that's not shocking news when it comes to humans. Thank you to the top cheers of the week so far. The week is young. We still have 6 straight days coming, but thank you to those who've cheered so far, including Torakill, Sir Spartan King, and Golden Colts, who are tied for 8th place. Timbo Slice is in 7th place. Westside Rascal is in 6th. Savage 2-Day and Deadly Feet are tied for 4th. Rob on Wheels is in 3rd place. Cyber Shadow 248 is in 2nd. And Lucifer Soul sitting nicely at 1st place for the week. Thank you guys again for your support. Also, thank you to those who've gifted subscriptions this week. Deadly Feet gifted 1 sub. Your Ha just gifted 5 subs. And like I said earlier this week, Killer Kitten gifted 50. Holy shit. 50 subscriptions. That's pretty crazy, huh? Pretty nice. I just got a tip, and I have absolutely no idea what the hell they're talking about, so I want to look at it and see if it's legit, because it seems like it may be something that someone's trying to get me to comment on something I don't even understand, and I don't know what the hell it means at all. Like, I'm looking at it like, what the fuck does that mean? No clue. Let's see here. This, whoa. I need to refresh it. Refresh. This is from Monday. I'm staring at stuff from Monday in my PayPal here. I gotta re-log in. Okay. It's always good to look at a nice negative PayPal. Delightful. Like I told you guys, I'm not kidding. It was $60 that were charged back. So now I'm negative. Like, I'm still like negative $45 here, even with the stuff that came in so far today. This is actually a verified tip. All right, so Aaron tipped me $6.12 and says, what are your thoughts on Perry Caravello announcing he's no longer a Javaho witness and being nominated for a streamer award? I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know who that is. I don't know anything about what you just said, and I'm certainly not going to comment on it because I have no clue what the fuck that means. But what I will say is thank you for the tip. It's the biggest tip of the day. I have no clue what that means. So thank you for the tip, and that gets us up to $19 of tips today, which probably means I'm like negative $40 now. Great. Timbo Slice Cheers said, did you buy ranch sauce for Saturday at the store? Oh, I have light ranch at the house here. I have light ranch, so that's what I'm going to use to dip it in. Or maybe, I think Papa John's may actually have it. You can order it, like pay extra, like a dollar or something and get a few of them. I might just do that and try out their sauce. Noxuna2 Cheer says, they came and attacked you on Twitter because you accused them all of being dishonest scumbags because they didn't utterly trash the game on their streams. Not everyone feels the need to stop their stream rant about a game they thought was bad, Phil. No, that's called being a shill. If you're playing a game you think it's bad, tell someone. But they didn't want to do that because they wanted a paycheck. They didn't like that I called them out for taking the paycheck and not being honest, and they slammed me on Twitter because they wanted to continue the dishonesty and keep taking the paychecks. And they did. And here we are 3-4 years later, and it's worse than ever because people don't listen. Instead, they just watch paid advertisements. I don't know what else to say. All right? All right, here's a moron. Hulk Hogan's Huge Penne saying, you can't say you never played WWE Champions because you said you played it in a 2017 video. That is correct. I've talked about it over the years many times that I said that I used to play it, and I have not played it in a long time. So enjoy your permanent ban and go fuck yourself. Stupid idiot who only hears what they want to hear because you're a moron. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Let's take a break. It's super late now because we had such a long pre-stream. Let's take a break. Wait a minute. Your has just gifted 5 more subscriptions to the channel. Congratulations to the following people. Retro Av, T. Zarg, Zach Balls, Mad Dog Casual, and Throbbing Juan Kenobi. Thank you all, well, congratulations all, on getting those gifted subs, and thank you, Your for the gifted subs so far. I appreciate that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a break. I'm going to use the restroom. I recommend you grab a drink or a snack, use the restroom yourselves as well. Take a few minutes here. I'll be back, and then we're going to check out Destruction All-Stars. We're going to see what this game is all about. And go from there, all right? Should be interesting, and I hope to see you in a few. Thanks for being supportive, and I'll see you in a bit.